PFF just released a grade on each quarterback prospects grade on past the first read,
Mhm,
I believe, and
mhm.
Justin Fields is number 1, and I think Justin Fields, maybe I think you've touched on this earlier, but is he like the Justin Herbert of this draft? Do you think he's being looked over?
Good question, right? Because he seems to be the one getting the most criticism,
Right, right.
right? And he seems to be the one that's going to drop. And it seems to be like I asked at the beginning of the show, why is he the one that the Niners aren't interested in? There's rumors that they like Mac, there's rumors that they like Trey Lance, but not Justin Fields. And then anytime there's a narrative about Justin Fields, there's someone who comes out to debunk it. He's a one-read quarterback. Well, Pro Football Focus says that's not true. Or anything you want to say about him, people say that's not true. Is he the one that's getting overlooked? I think there's a lot of differences between Justin Fields and Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert was like a 4-year starter at Oregon.
That's
Oregon
true.
wasn't a great school. It's up there in the Pacific Northwest. Most of the country isn't watching those games. And I feel like a team like Miami looked at him and was like, how do we sell Justin Herbert to our fan base? Our fan base has never heard of Justin Herbert, where Tua is a celebrity all across the world,
Right.
especially in the South. I mean, that almost felt like an ownership pick to me. So Justin Fields is a celebrity. He went to Ohio State. He's been on television any number of times playing football. I think their circumstances are a little different. I think what people see with Fields is that he's being discriminated against, and that all the criticism against him is racist, which is possible. But then I wonder, like, well, why isn't Trey Lance catching that kind of stuff? Why is it just Justin Fields? And I don't have the answer. Maybe you do.
Yeah, I think that's I mean, also on this PFF thing, what's interesting is Trevor Lawrence is 7th on the list with like
That
a
is very
12-point
interesting.
lower
Yeah.
grade than Justin Fields. So
I want to point out one thing real quick. Sorry to interrupt you, but as far as Pro Football Focus, you brought up Justin Herbert. They were one of the main people saying Justin Herbert was no good. Like all of their analysts,
yeah,
all of their grades said he was trash. And when the Chargers took him, their top guy, PFF Sam, said this is a huge mistake. Huge mistake. So keep that in mind. PFF isn't exactly, they don't have a terrific track record of scouting quarterbacks.
right. Also, I have another question. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I wonder if Mike LaFleur, he went to the Jets, and Mike, I believe Mike McDaniel is now the OC. So
Mm-hmm.
do you think that there's any way where Mike McDaniel could possibly influence the decision, and how you think that will affect the development of the quarterback with him being the OC?
I don't think Mike McDaniel has that kind of juice and sway inside the organization. I think he's been a run game specialist his whole life. He's the guy who draws up the plays in the run game, and he's the best in the league at that, probably. You see how those plays are. They're very intricate. I don't know if he necessarily has the juice to be like, yo, we need this quarterback. And Kyle be like, you think so, huh? All right, well, I'm going to go with what you think. I'm not trying to be, I'm just saying, I think this is, Kyle's he's a little emperor on the 49ers. Him and his dad was the emperor of the Broncos. Kyle is the emperor of the 49ers.
Yeah.
And it's Kyle's call. It's Kyle's call.
Yeah, I do wonder how that like Mike McDaniel Kyle Shanahan relationship is too. Like maybe Mike McDaniel was talking like maybe Mike McDaniel was all in with Shanahan. That's why they made the trade up, or maybe they're unhappy that there could be something going on. So that would be really interesting. And maybe if they take the quarterback he doesn't want, that obviously that would affect the decision. And people have been saying John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan have disagreed on the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's necessarily true, but
yeah, we'll never know. Before I let you go, Keith says the difference between Lance and Fields is that before the draft process, nobody knew Lance. Fields has been in the spotlight since high school. Yeah, I think one of the things that Lance has going for him is that he didn't play this year. There's very little to hold against him. Like, what do Fields played against Northwestern Indiana and really struggled. This dude didn't have those games. He played against Central Arkansas and struggled, but there's less to like point at and be like, well, this is really bad. This is a problem here. There's just no tape for Trey Lance.
Right, I think like a lot of the issues you see with Fields, like people saying he can't go off his first read, whatnot. Like if Trey Lance is playing on Alabama or on Ohio State and playing against Alabama,
you'd see it too.
You'd
it would be
probably
a very similar situation. Yeah.